There is so much stuff to love in the one big, beautiful tax bill from Trump that's going through the House now and it's in the Senate and then it'll go to committee. Dude, this is I could not be happier. This is fantastic. Anyway, so my man Miguel sent this to me, and because it's Miguel, obviously he's Spanish, right? His name Miguel, so we got to listen to him because he's a person of color, and persons of color always get priority at the Heritage Well Planning YouTube channel. Anyway, so we're just gonna go. My man Miguel crushes. So just FYI, for anyone who can't take a joke, just go pound sand. All right. So anyway, so here's the Rules Committee print 119-3. Table of contents, one big, beautiful bill act. And I just want to show you a couple things here. Alien SNAP eligibility. All right. If you're not here legally, you ain't getting it. Able-bodied adults without dependence waivers. If you work, if you don't work, you don't eat. Able-bodied adults without dependence work requirements. You got to work. Shocking. Dude, it's fantastic. Let's keep going there. I want to show you this right here. We're going to come down to this because I hate the green lobby. I hate that. Should probably not hate, but I can't stand them because they're so fake, they're so rich, and they don't care about the environment. Because if they did, they wouldn't be flying around in private jets. Anyway, repeal and rescission relating to environmental and climate justice block grants. Let's go to section 42117 right here. Oh, this makes me so happy. I'm happy. I'm the happy man from Happy Land. I was being facetious. You know what I'm talking about. All right, repeal and rescission related. We already talked about it. Section, the unobligated balance of any amounts available under Section 138 of the Clean Air Act is rescinded, which means the block grants for climate justice. What is climate justice? Whatever the Democrats want to be, which means if you're white, you ain't getting taxpayer money. If you're brown and black, you're getting taxpayer money under the aura of climate justice, which is absolutely discriminatory, and they can all pound sand. You know what? I know it. Everybody knows it. Let's see. There's another one right here, too. Because the green lobby is so flippin' fake, dude. Right here. Repeal and rescission related to greenhouse gas, air pollution plans, and implementation grants. What does the grants go to? It goes to most favored lobby groups. Absolutely. It doesn't go to freaking Joe Schmo down there in South Atlanta. It goes to the rich corporations. They're scumbags that fly private jets to go to World Economic Forum things. It's just a freaking scam. And I love it. I love they're getting rid of it. Repeal and rescission relating to low embodied carbon labeling for construction materials. Oh, is this made with biomass as opposed to natural gas? Oh, then you can label it low carbon. Get the hell out of here, dude. This freaking fantastic. I love it, man. Good job, man. It looks like the Republicans are starting to grab their kahunas and start freaking do things here for sure. Repeal and rescission related to the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. You're out. Oh, it makes me happy. Funding for Department of Energy loan guarantee expenses. Expedited permitting. Yes, like especially for when it comes to nuclear power plants. We got to expedite the permitting process so the Green Lobby and the Sierra Club and all that don't freaking put everything on hold because they got some rich multi-billionaires, a hedge fund manager. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Let's take a look what that says. Let's see what it says about Strategic Petroleum Reserve. In addition to amounts otherwise available, there's appropriated to the Department of Energy for fiscal year 2025 out of any money in the Treasury not otherwise appropriated to remain available until September 2029, $218 million for maintenance, including repairs to the Strategic Oil Petroleum Reserve. $1.3 billion to acquire by purchase petroleum products for the Strategic Petroleum Oil Reserve. Because guess what happened? Sniffy Joe got rid of it. Repeal of Strategic Petroleum Reserve drawdowns and sale mandate is repeal of National Highway Transportation Safety Administration rules related to the CAFE standards. Why do you think we don't have small pickup trucks anymore? We all go into SUVs because of CAFE standards. Dude, people are like, I wish we had our old Ford Ranger and Ford Chevy S10. You can't because of CAFE standards. That's why I've had to go to SUVs. They're expanding Medicaid eligibility. Shocking by striking right here. Revising home equity limit for determining eligibility for long-term care services under the Medicaid program by striking out $500,000 home equity and putting in $1 million of home equity. But everyone say, oh, they're taking away our Medicaid. Freaking fakers. Prohibiting federal financial participation under Medicaid and CHIP for individuals without verified citizenship, nationality, or satisfactory immigration requirement status. Yeah, what? Oh, they're taking away Medicaid. If you're not supposed to be here, get the hell out of here. You don't get Medicaid or CHIPs. Oh, that's fantastic. Prohibiting federal Medicaid and CHIP funding for gender transition. For gender transition was procedures for minors. I say for gender transition. Why the hell should the government pay for you to freaking change your stupid gender? Federal payments are prohibited. Dude, but they're going to get rid of Medicaid. Yeah, this is stuff to shore up Medicaid, you freaking liberal goony moonies. Oh, dude, I love it. They're definitely getting rid of the Affordable Care Act, right? Now, let's take a look what happens there. So we're going to show you something here. We're going to address waste, fraud, and abuse in this ACA exchanges. How are we going to do that? Check it out. We're going to verify the income for individuals enrolling in a qualified health plan through an exchange, which tells me they're definitely not cutting the exchange, the ACA. So what are they going to do instead? What are they going to do? 2026, the Secretary, let's see. The exchange requests data from the Secretary of Treasury regarding an individual's household income. The Secretary of Treasury does not return such data. Such information may not be verified solely on the basis of attestation of such individual respect to household income. Thus, the exchange may take actions, we're going to show you right here, reviewing the data from the Secretary of Treasury or other reliable third-party data that indicates the household income of such applicant is less than the household income that would qualify for such applicant. Such attested projection annual household income exceeds that reflected by what you said. Basically, what they're saying is, hey, they're going to crack down on it. If you say our household income is $60,000 and it turns out to be $90,000, they're going to start cracking down on that to make sure that you're not lying on your attestation about what your income is going to be for premium credits. For premium credits, they should do that. If you say my income is $40,000, so I can qualify for premium credits, and it turns out your income is $90,000, they're going to crack down on that and make you pay the money back plus a penalty. We're going to make sure that you're not lying on your attestation about what your income is going to be. That's a problem? No. It solves up for people lying about the ACA premiums. Doesn't mean they, by the way, it doesn't mean they freaking go to jail. It just says, no, you essentially misspoke. Thus, you got to pay for what you misspoke for. Not physically, you're not going to jail, but you're going to have to pay back the premium credits we gave you plus a penalty. I don't know why anyone would have an upset about that. It just shores up the benefits to who is supposed to be, people with low income. Good one. Prohibiting automatic re-enrollment from bronze to silver level qualified health plans offered by the exchanges. What is that right here? I haven't read this yet. Let's read it. May not re-enroll as an individual is enrolled in a bronze level qualified plan, a silver plan, a qualified health plan, and just let's see. And I think what that's going to be is kind of like on if you have Medicare Advantage Part C. And then you get some issues where Medicare Advantage plans don't cover you. Some stupid states allow you to go immediately into to supplemental plans, which are more inclusive. And that's without being underwritten for health insurance. That's wrong. You shouldn't be able. That'd be like saying I don't have homeowners insurance, but the minute my house is on fire, I will get homeowners insurance. No insurance company is going to freaking underwrite you if they know your house is on fire. They're not going to. They said you should have had it before. You see what I'm saying? This is the free rider thing. I don't have insurance. The minute I need insurance, I'm going to get insurance. Well, you didn't pay the premiums old. That's free riding on us who have insurance. Same thing here. You should not be a free rider, i.e. I have Medicare Advantage that doesn't cover these other things because it's cheap if not free. But the minute I need these other things, I go automatically to Medicare, Medigap, or Medicare supplemental plan. You can't be able to do that. Some northern states allow that. It's insane. That's why the Medicare premiums are so much higher for those northern states than the southern states, because we say, no, that's dumb. And what they're saying here is under Obamacare, Affordable Care Act, you can't do that. You may not re-enroll an individual enrolled in a bronze level qualified plan to a silver plan. I'm sure it's going to have something to do with qualified. You got to be qualified to do that in terms of medical underwriting. I don't know, but they can't just go. I'm going from bronze, which has limited fees, all this other stuff in terms of cost, co-pays. What I don't know exactly what it is. You have to look into it. You can't just, I'm going to go from bronze to silver because it'll reduce my total out-of-pocket expenses. Because a lot of bronze premiums are very, very low. It's very, very low. And the reason is because you're just basically not being covered for much other than catastrophic stuff, which is fine. But then when you need something more than bronze covers, you go to silver, and you weren't paying the premiums for that. I hope that makes sense. It probably doesn't, but it's a big deal, dude. And that's to shore up Obamacare, which they're not freaking cutting. More great stuff. Prohibiting coverage of gender transition procedures as an essential health benefit under the Obamacare stuff. That's 100%, dude. The other things they're saying we're not going to cover: castration, sterilization, was tubal ligation. I don't know what the hell that is. Clitoroplasty, I don't even know what that is. Restriction of the fixed part of the urethra, I don't even know what the hell that is. With or without, all this stuff is well beyond my thing. So anyway, we don't want to be covering that stuff, dude. That's crazy. Crazy. The woman, the term female means an individual naturally has or had or will have or would have, but for a development or genetic anomaly or historical accident, the reproductive system that at some point produces, transports, and utilizes eggs for fertilization. I just can't believe right here. That's crazy. Insurer offering individual health coverage to the extent allowed under state law may deny such coverage on the fact that the individual who owes any amounts for premiums for individual health insurance did not pay. Shocking. You don't pay your premiums, we're not going to cover you. Oh my goodness, I actually have to put that in law? Apparently we do. Crazy. It's a big one for prescription drugs, especially for non-big companies like CVS pharmacies. Modernizing and ensuring PBM accountability. And this is well beyond my capacity. You should follow Matt Stoller on this. Matt's a big lib, but he's a good lib. One of the few good libs out there. Requirements relating to pharmacy benefit manufacturers. For plan years beginning on or after 2026, and I'm just not going to read this, but the fact they're addressing this is a big deal for sure for when it comes to monopolization things. These PBMs they're not operating in our best interest, that's for sure. This is, again, more great stuff. Green and resilient retrofit program for multifamily housing. The unobligated balance of amounts made available under the Inflation Reduction Act, which was to basically give money to fake greenery people, all green shading, is rescinded. Ugh, take that, dude. Love it. Getting rid of the watchdog, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. No, they're not. I don't know what this means. We're striking 12%, inserting 5% instead, so they're reducing something here. I don't know what that is, but hey, man, that's good stuff. I mean, when I say it's good stuff, I presume it's good stuff. I don't know, haven't looked into it, but they're certainly not canceling the Consumer Financial Protection Board, which, to be honest with you, they kind of should. Here they got Committee on the Immigration Matters, applicable to the immigration law. So let's see what that says. I haven't looked at this yet, so we're going to read it together. But it should be, if you're not a resident or a citizen, you don't get first priority. That's for damn sure. Immigration Matters. Alien who files an asylum fee will be no less than $1,000, which seems low to me, but I get it, man. I mean, South African, white farmers, they can afford $1,000. I hope to file to flee because they're going to be, hunted down and persecuted, and we know that's what the freaking the EFF is saying. The ANC is kind of saying it too. So that's literally refugees. I want to come here from, freaking $2 whatever it is, Timbuktu, because I want to get benefits for welfare. No. And I want to diversify your country in Lewiston, Maine. No, we don't want you to stay away. That's just a fact. See, yearly asylum fee, visa integrity fee. I love it, dude. Special immigrant juvenile fee, whatever. 100%, man. We got to start reducing immigration. Not just illegal immigration, but whole immigration. We need to go 1922 and have a moratorium on immigration until the current immigrants here are assimilated. It's just a fact, because right now it's a cluster. Everybody knows it. We can't keep going on like this. We need a moratorium a la 1920s. And oh, wait, 1920s, the economy took off. Kind of crazy. Who would have thought? I thought immigration meant more growth in the economy. Crazy. Right here, restriction on enforcement. I'm sure they're going to allow for more law enforcement to freaking crack down on this, which is fantastic. Remember, I had clients who were personally sued because they tried to restore order under the freaking Black Lives Matter riots. Personally sued, personally hunted down, doxxed, the whole thing. These are law enforcement officers, personally sued, lost their jobs. They were let out on their own under Biden because he says, no, it was insanity, dude. Insanity. It's freaking disgusting. Disgusting. They're like, oh, they must have done something wrong. No, they didn't do wrong. Because for some reason, the aura of George Floyd made people insane. They're like, normally rational people said, George Floyd, no. Like that. Do you see the mayor of freaking Minneapolis before the golden coffin of George Floyd, the crackhead, like crying like a baby? Dude, people, did you see the FBI bow, or some even Christians in front of black people like bowing? Dude, it was insane. Insane. But to personally have liability for a law enforcement officer, and not only that, but law enforcement officers were locked into buildings and they were set with Molotov cocktails on fire. And those were the people who were being held personally liable. Not the freaking rioters, mind you, the Black Lives Matter Nazis. The law enforcement officers whose lives were at risk. Something's gone horribly awry. And people need to freaking go to prison for a long time. Starting with Andrew McCabe, James Comey, Francis Collins. Just the list goes on and on. Onshore oil and gas and lease sales, like it. They're doing geothermal leasing. I'm a big fan of geothermal. I like the fact they address coal. 100%, man. Protest fees. Interesting. So let's see what that one is. 8106 80161. Protest fees. Let's see what that is here. Oh, did I not do it? Before processing any protest on this act, the Secretary should collect a filing fee in the amount described 100%. The base for each protest filed in a submission not exceeding 10 pages latest, the base filing fee should be $150 with $5 per page. Exactly. Idiots like the Sierra Club and ACLU, they'll protest it. You breathe, they're going to protest it. And they should be held accountable for filing the protest. It should cost them money, man. It's insane that just, losers got to learn how to pay it. That's all there is to it. Precision of funds for investing in coastal communities and climate resilience. Oh, 100%, dude. I'm so happy for this crap. 100%. My man Miguel, who's a federal employee, who's a little bit worried. Elimination of FERS annuity supplement for certain employees. So let's take a look what that is. 90001. And I haven't looked into this yet because I just haven't. But let's see what this says. So they're inserting separated from service under Section 8425. I don't know what that means. So you'd have to look into this. I'd like to get some more clarifications. If any of you guys out there know what that means, let me know. The first supplement is an interesting one here. But they're saying the amendments made by this will be applied January 1st, 2028, and shall not apply with respect to any individual entitled to an annuity supplement previously. So I guess if you're starting in 2028, it could affect you. I don't know what this is. So you have to. I'm very interested in learning for sure. They do talk about CSRS. As opposed to FERS. What do they say? The Superior Retirement System, civilian, I can't remember what it says, whatever that is. Permanently preventing tax hikes, extension of modification of rates, yep. Extension of increased standard deduction, temporary enhancement, yep. Termination of a deduction for personal exemptions, yeah, because the standard deduction is well above personal exemptions. A lot of these extensions I like. Termination of qualified bicycle commuting reimbursement exclusion. Thank the good Lord for that. No one likes bicyclists anymore. I got a lot of bicyclists in my group. I love you guys because you guys are the ones doing it right. But you know these guys. We're on freaking a pretty busy road the other day. And I was like, dude, what the hell are you guys doing, man? Come on. You guys are like 3 deep on the road. It's like a road going 45 up a hill. I said, get that. What if I start, but they pay for the taxes for the road, so don't I as a taxpayer. So I'm going to start walking. I'm going to see a bunch of bicyclists coming down my road, and I'm just going to start walking in the middle of the road. All right, because I pay taxes for it too. Why can't I do that? The whole thing's so stupid. You know it. Bicyclists know it. Everyone's getting tired of bicyclists, that's for sure. Termination, minimized miscellaneous itemized deductions. Whatever. But a lot of extension here. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, enhanced deductions for seniors, no tax on car loan interest. Yeah, well, some of that stuff I don't like, but that's okay, man. Reinstate a partial deduction for charitable contributions of individuals who don't elect to itemize. Yeah, I like that. So if you don't itemize, you want to give to charities, you don't have to do it. You don't have to itemize to get the deduction. That's a above the line deduction. That's fine. I just say get rid of all deductions, 100%. No, very, very, very few people take deductions because they don't itemize, but this addresses that. This says you can still take a deduction even if you don't itemize because only like 9% of the population itemizes. Hell, I didn't even itemize. Those MAGA accounts are a little bit silly to me, but I don't know. I just think they're a little bit a bridge too far. We don't need extra accounts. We have enough accounts as it is, dude. We don't need extra accounts. I do like the idea of government funding for Roth IRAs. I think that's a good thing. So if you make less than $50,000 a year, something like that, the government will. I think they don't talk about this. So the MAGA account they kind of do, but it's not that great. But anyway, I like the idea of the Roth. The government said we're going to contribute $1,000 or $2,000 to your Roth for every $1,000 or $2,000 you contribute if your income is less than $50,000 a year, i.e., younger people. I think it's a great strategy, 100%. Oh, but we should invest in Social Security. Should be invested in the private markets. I said, do you really want the government choosing stocks to invest in and having freaking votes on corporate activities? You want the government run by Social Security Administration having votes on what corporations do? I don't. I'd just rather do a voucher thing. We're going to match. We're going to match into your Roth IRA. I think they're not talking about that here, but I think would be a great move. Right here, individuals, once you're on Part A of Medicare, that's your physician services. Part B, actually the hospital. So Part A is a free because you paid for it with your Medicare tax. You don't pay for it once you're enrolled in Medicare. They say if you're on there and you're over 65, you can contribute to health savings accounts. I think it's a big deal, man. Treatment of direct primary care service arrangements, huge deal. I'm not sure exactly what the treatment is. I'm getting kind of bored now. I've been on 20 minutes. I'm not going to look into it, but I think it's a huge deal. Employer credit for choice arrangements, FSA and HRA terminations or conversions to fund HSAs, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Increase in health savings account contributions, limits for certain individuals, all that stuff is good stuff. Allow both spouses to make catch-up contributions to the same health savings account. Allowance of bronze and catastrophic plans in connection with health savings. Dude, the idea that this is freaking fantastic, dude. All right, so I'm done. I'm bored here. And what I mean, I just can't take it anymore. It's 1,031 pages or something like that. But extension of Tax Cuts and Jobs Acts for rural America, Main Street, working families over elites. I like that. Termination of previously owned clean vehicle credit. Yep. Dude, I love seeing these terminations of stupid green stuff. Phase out of clean electricity investment credit. Termination of clean. Dude, just freaking fantastic. Limit on amortization of certain sports franchises. Modification of the excise tax. Dude, 100%. Ooh. Certain purchase of employee. Let's see. Let's just look at foundations. Let's look at foundations. I do want to see what they're saying about tax on foundations. Foundations. Let's see how many things. Yes, right here. Increasing the rate of tax on net investment income of certain private foundations. Yes. Yes. Certain purchases. We talk about that. Dude, there's so much good stuff in here. But Josh, they don't explicitly say no tax on Social Security. Trump is lying. It's good stuff. God bless. Love your thoughts. Smash that like button. If you got knowledge on some of these aspects, I don't. Like if you're Medicare, Obamacare, FERS, let me know, dude. Love to hear it.